Black Americans really created democracy in this country.
Right. That's exactly right.
How they literally made something from nothing.
I'm looking at these pictures of the founding fathers. I'm looking at these pictures of the men who are credited with establishing American democracy, and it's strange. They all seem to have one thing in common. They all seem to be lacking melanin. So I'm struggling to understand what AOC LGBT is talking about. Is it any wonder why doofus Democrats are seeing record low approval ratings? Is it any wonder why almost 60% of the country is refusing to take a ride on the donkey? According to Real Clear Politics, almost 60% of Americans disapprove of doofus Democrats. Uncle Casey, nearly 60% disapprove of the Trumper too. Yeah, that's definitely true. But who cares? I don't know if you know this, Donald Trump cannot run for re-election, so his approval rating is essentially meaningless. But for doofus Democrats, this should be a time when their approval rating should be surging. 2 years ago, Donald Trump, he was the most popular orange in America. Why? Because our former fearless leader, Johnny B. Biden, was an unmitigated disaster. Now, many people believe that Donald Trump is just as disastrous. So, why are doofus Democrats struggling to find people who are willing to ride the donkey? Contrary to the belief of the mainstream media, the American people are not stupid. Americans are really good at knowing when they're being lied to. They're good at noticing a lack of authenticity. Sometimes it might take them a while to notice, but once they do, it is damn near impossible to erase that stain. Back in November of last year, I lost a lot of subscribers for pointing out that Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and Megyn Kelly were intentionally dividing normal people. Now, at the time, it was just my own personal theory, and a lot of people disagreed with me, which is fine. It's fine. We're not always going to agree with each other, and you might still think Uncle Casey is full of shit, but there's no denying the fact, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, they have taken a noticeable shift recently. Last weekend, Tucker Carlson, he was being interviewed by the New York Times. During the interview, he was asked about recent comments that he made about Donald Trump being the Antichrist. Now, the comment was strange because Tuck claims to be a devout Christian. Anyone who's a devout Christian should know the Antichrist is not going to be an American. Most believe the Antichrist will emanate from somewhere in Europe. What was even more perplexing about the comment was Tucker Carlson's response when he was asked about it. Watch for yourself.
You've been talking on your show about whether Trump is the Antichrist.
I have not said that. Here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods, and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist?
I don't know where that comes from, but I know that those words never left my lips.
I never said that. I don't know where those words came from. That wasn't me. That was my two-spirit personality, Tucky. Oopsie. Even though Tucker Carlson has been caught in several lies recently, even though he has become a staunch defender of Islam, his viewership hasn't really been affected yet. Unfortunately for Megyn Kelly, Her YouTube numbers are on the pathway to the pooper, mainly because Megyn Kelly has been proven to be inauthentic. She supports transgender identifiers, then she's preaching against transgender identifiers. Several months ago, she is rightfully criticizing radical Islam. Now, she's getting sized for her own custom hijab. Once you lose credibility in the eyes of your audience, it is incredibly difficult to reestablish it. With Tucker and Megyn, they still have a chance. If they would quit chasing views and just be themselves, they could reestablish their credibility. But with doofus Democrats, they have been lying to us for so long. They have been on the wrong side of every issue for so long. The party of the donkey has wasted the last decade being the anti-American party pooper. I don't know if the Democratic Party that we grew up with can ever be restored. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. After the 2024 election, when doofus Democrats woke up that Wednesday morning with a bruised caboose that was not caused by their usual passionate weekends at the Butt Bongo Festival, after cackling Cam Harris was defeated in a landslide, after Americans clearly rejected the woke fungus, this was the perfect opportunity for Democrats to reset the party. It was their opportunity to elevate new faces, elevate younger voices. They have had 18 months to find a candidate that has a chance of receiving a single vote in 2028. Here we are 18 months later, and who is leading the polls? Who is in the driver's seat on the donkey? Cackling Cam Harris. Correct me if I'm wrong here. In 2020, when the best Democrats had to offer was a rapidly aging John Biden, hell, every time we saw Johnny B, we were literally watching him turn into a fossil. The 2020 Democratic field, it featured major stars like Andrew Yang, Deval Patrick, Elizabeth Warren, or as she requested to be called on the ballot, Squanto, Peter Buttigieg. The 2020 Democratic primary, it was stacked with huge embarrassing failures. Yet somehow, cackling Cam Harris failed to receive a single vote. And this is who is leading the polls for 2028? Let me show you a brief glimpse as to why doofus Democrats are struggling to relate to normal people. This is a compilation of Democratic propaganda, or as scientists prefer to call it, donkey turds. Watch for yourself.
You can't earn $1 billion.
That's right.
You just can't earn that.
That's exactly correct.
You can break rules. You can do all sorts of things. You can abuse labor laws.
Yep.
You can pay people less than what they're worth.
Yep.
But you can't earn that.
This war in Iran, which the American people do not want, which was not authorized by conference, but even if it was, it should not have been initiated. He talked about obliterating, and then he said, oh, he did. It's all just bull.
Doofus Democrats are really no different than late night comedians. You see, they tell you what they think you want to hear instead of just telling you the truth. They portray themselves as who they think you want them to be instead of just being their authentic selves. I'm sure you've noticed recently, doofus Democrats have increased their cursing. Why? Same reason Megyn Kelly started cursing. They think it makes them relatable. They think people will perceive them as being cool instead of perceiving them as being dorks. But what it really makes them look is desperate. AOC LGBT, she doesn't know a damn thing about what it takes to be a billionaire. Hell, Ocasio doesn't know a damn thing about business. Outside of her days as a bartender, where she was known for confusing vodka with water, Ocasio, to my knowledge, has never had a real job. But she knows it resonates with people who are struggling financially to attack and demonize billionaires. Look at those evil billionaires. They are eating top shelf beef while you're eating baloney. Vote for me. I'll take all their money and give it to you. Yeah, Zorro Mondani said the exact same thing. For the last 12 months, Zorro has promised all the radical Islamists in New York City that he would take money away from billionaires and he would give that money to them so they wouldn't have to get one of those pesky jobs which would interrupt prayer time, which is mandated 5 times a day. A couple of weeks ago, Zorro, he was demonizing billionaire Ken Griffin. So what did Kenny do? He took himself and his $50 billion, along with his company, down to Miami. I don't know about you guys, but I have never been hired by someone who was bankrupt. When I needed a mortgage, I didn't go down to the Goodwill. I didn't go down to the homeless shelter to ask for money. I went to a bank which was backed by a billionaire. The platform I am speaking to you on right now, YouTube, when they send me those lovely checks on the 21st of every month, the name in the top left corner of the check, it doesn't say Broke Bob living under the Brooklyn Bridge. Alphabet Inc. sends my checks, which is backed by billionaires. Why in the hell would I want to demonize the people who are paying me? This is one of many things that doofus Democrats fail to understand. For decades, the party of the donkey has been pushing a welfare state, a socialist state. They've been telling men not to work. They've been telling women to have children out of wedlock so the government checks keep rolling in. At the same time, they've been telling some of those women to be a girl boss. They've intentionally confused gender roles. They have tried to convince women that motherhood is bad, bad, bad. Fight the patriarchy, burn your bras, career first, chase money. The problem for Democrats, eventually people figure out it's all an illusion. Their words, although they are nicely polished turds, their words aren't more powerful than nature. The party of the donkey is the party of inauthenticity. Going into 2028, their leading candidates are cackling Cam Harris, Gabby Newsom, who has destroyed the People's Republic of California, and AOC LGBT. Is it any wonder why their approval ratings are nearing record lows? Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.